How now, brown cow? Unique New York. Unique New York. Unique New York. Nuke the North. Wait, what? No, that's not right. Don't say that. Hi. How you doing? Yep, chat. Okay. I have very urgent breaking breaking news. There's a banana in this picture and we must find it. You've been better, but you've also been worse. There's a banana in this picture. You found it? Where? On the hinge thing. Ah. Chief? Ah. You were running a 39.3 C temperature last night and had to go to the ER to get a doctor's note to miss work. Jeez, Midge, I hope you feel better. Banan! Road closed in Boca. Speculation is ambient plus cryo on the full stack today, but nobody knows for sure. Tori Bruno knows. Tori Bruno knows. Roro, what's up? They gave you lots of medis. I hope you feel better, buddy. Hope you feel better. Nah, seriously though, take it easy. Take it easy and agua. Learning the wonders of programming today? You could say that. You could say that. Yeah. Let me get the joystick out for Kerbal. So, yesterday we completed the Python, basically the Python tutorial. It wasn't, I don't really think it was anything special, but it was cool. Like, it is fun to learn it, but it's basically regurgitated tutorial code. But it does, hey, you know, it works. It just works. So many launches yesterday, so fun. Yeah, yeah. So, my thing, the part that I'm happy with is this part down here, where we got the drogues to pop and the main shoots to deploy. Here, let me load up Kerbal and I will show you what we're talking about. It gave you opioids. You've been playing Cyberpunk. Midge, be careful. Careful with that stuff. You can code KSP in Python? Oscorky, I'm using a mod called KRPC. KRPC is basically an API for KSP with Python. You can code Python into your launch vehicles. And then if you run the script in the compiler, as long as you tell the compiler to handshake with the KRPC mod, it'll fly your launch vehicles for you. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can get pretty crazy with it. My last one, you get a free moment. I keep seeing IT jobs in Massachusetts at Hanscom Air Force Base. Is that a decent area? Pete, define decent. That's the burbs, dude. Yes, it is a decent area. That's Lexington and Concord. Lexington, Concord, Weston. Yeah, that's those are very affluent suburbs. Yeah, so I hope that job pays like over 150 G's, or else you ain't living near Hanscom. What is Boston? So yeah, I know, right? Serious? That's why I moved out. Seriously, go look at prices of houses in Lexington and Concord. You'll be like, you can live in Waltham though. Waltham isn't that far, and Waltham's pretty affordable. But even then, they're kind of going up. Waltham was just north of where I grew up. You can even have it draw arrows in the flight scene and stuff like that. I had a doc script once that drew a keep out sphere of sorts, pointed an arrow to the approach vector. Nothing wrong with regurgitated tutorial code as long as you understand it. I make myself, if you guys watched the VOD yesterday, I make sure I type everything out. All of it gets typed out. Let's get the Minecrafts. I like Minecraft music. It's good music and doesn't mute the VOD. Midge, be careful with hydrocodone. Be careful. I know people that use that and it didn't end well. Moody Street for life. There you go. Yeah, I mean Waltham's pretty affordable, but it's very very close together, Pete. So I mean, dude, look, you know, for all of its problems, Massachusetts is not a bad place to live. It really isn't. It's not a bad place to live. There are less expensive places to live, but it's really not bad. You've been addicted to it before, so you know. Okay. Oh wow, the prices are so cheap over there. The only places that are more expensive than Boston in the US or like Eastern Mass is like the Bay, Southern California, Seattle, and New York, and like that's it. Even parts of Cambridge, it's comparable to the Bay. Yeah, it really depends. Last time they were having you take like 3x what you have now. Alright, well, Midge, sit back, relax. Chill, and run the simulations. They're tough, but they ain't invincible. Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do. Typing out copy code is a best practice, even if it takes time. I will never Control-C, Control-V somebody else's code, Mitt. It's a rule that I made to myself a long time ago. Believe it or not. Like a long time ago. And dude, even if I like was making a mod for Kerbal, you still needed to code some. You needed to code the CFG file, right? So even then, I still wouldn't copy documentation from like other parts and code from other parts. I hate doing that. It doesn't teach you nothing. It's like using somebody else's craft file in KSP. It doesn't teach you anything. So, check this rocket out. We built this rocket. This rocket's called the Nugget. Oh, I forgot to put it on Kerbal X. Damn, somebody else. Sorry guys, I've been super busy today. I'm a millennial. I have zero expectations of ever being able to buy a house. Pete, I know you're kind of kidding. Like, you're kind of kidding. Like, ha 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 ha, you know, like, oh, millennial never did it. Dude, look at me. I'm an idiot. I did it. You'll find something. Dude, it's not... As buying a house is not as hard as people say it is. Don't get me wrong. It is a stressful experience. And a lot of money's on the table. But, Pete, like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. You build up 10 to 15 G's in the bank in savings, even 10, 15 is good enough for a down payment. That's good enough. I mean, then you get a mortgage for 30 years, but I wouldn't recommend doing that now. They just jack the rates again. But it's not too bad. Just wait for the rates to go down. I think that if, you know, like, dude, I thought the same way 5 years ago. I'm like, I'm never gonna buy a house. Never gonna buy it. Look at what I have now. Off of, like, from streaming. And, you know, Brimo and I, yeah, dude, that's the other thing, you know, like, we both work. Brimo and I both work a lot, so, you know. The streamers don't usually have the same overhead as someone with a 9-to-5 job, though. I mean, serious. I proved to them that I have sustainable income. I proved it to them. They were like, "What do? You get? How do you have sustainable income?" I'm like, "How does a restaurant owner have sustainable income, dick? Like, the same way anybody else that runs a business has sustainable income. I work. Hello." Actually, Endo, on paper, I am an online entertainer. That's what it is on paper. My taxes are filed like, and this is streamer. That your taxes are filed like royalty, so it's more like a musician. Yeah, I make royalties off the stream. That's how it gets filed. Believe it or not. Some new houses in the little suburbs are going for 900K. Probably would have been 500 tops 2 years ago. 900K in LOL? In LOL. LOL.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
420, proof of earnings. Thank you. Serious. Lowell, Massachusetts. That's not Chelsea. That's not Chelsea, dude. Lowell is a working class town. So think the Midlands. Like, think about a house in the Midlands going for 900,000 pounds. Like, it's like, what? What exactly is? Are you sure? You know what, man? I don't know what to do with that information. Your buddy just bought a home in Dover for 650K. Last year, that home was 300K at a 6.5 interest rate. I tried to talk him out of it. Holy crap, I got a good deal on this house. A little bit of cool space history from Harry today. Oh, neat. He just told me the value of his home dropped to 575K since he bought it already. So, Oz, I bought this house. We bought a house just 2 months ago. No, we bought it in June. We bought it in June, so that was not 2 months ago. That was in June. So that's before they jacked the interest rates. That was before they jacked the interest. So they've done it twice since then, right? That was before they jacked the interest rates. We locked in something. I think it's like 5. It's somewhere around 5, which is still. But here's the thing, man. Like, there's no inventory. There's no inventory. There's no houses. Stop building houses for 2 years everywhere. Jack the interest rates all you want. Like, prices ain't gonna go down too much. Your buddy isn't like that crazy. I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have locked in 6.5. That's ridiculous, but. Date the rate, marry the mortgage. Yeah, grab shot. Yeah, corporate. Yeah, that's Rev. I know that that's not okay, but I don't know what would fix that and not. There's no way to fix that and not like screw up some market somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to say that, you know, a corporation should not be able to buy residential property, but, like, okay. what about me? I run my business off of a residential property, technically. You know, like, so how does that apply? You know? There's municipal ordinances for that. You're not a corporation. Yeah, I suppose, but I am a company, you know? My wife and I are trying to move up to New Hampshire from Connecticut, but we're stuck because the homes are overvalued and the interest rates are too high, so just got to sit for now. Yeah, so I locked in a price. Brimo and I locked in an interest rate before before they jacked the prices up, and our house appraisal, the bank appraisal on the house was like, Brimo, I'm ballparking these numbers, so you don't need to correct me. The appraisal was well over our buying price. It was like 20 to 30 G's over what we bought it for. We stole this freaking thing. I suppose you own it, not the company. Yeah, Ando, you know, if I'm not allowed to buy commercial property well, no, you should be. Yeah, you are allowed to buy commercial property. I can buy commercial property even though I don't have a company, right? When can I buy EJ stock? Our interest rate would have been locked in May. They bumped it twice, Bree, since I've been watching it. They bumped it twice since we bought. Yeah, Poison. Yeah, you can't base that off of income. A corporation should not be allowed to buy residential zone property. Simple as that. Like, but then again, like, dude, that seems like the right move. But guys, here's the thing about doing laws like that. If you're legislating like that based off of an issue, like a certain issue like that, there's going to be repercussions, and the repercussions will be unseen. That's gonna, I don't know how, and I'm not smart enough to be able to tell you how, like, doing what I just said would backfire, like, righteously. I'm not smart enough to do that. There are people that get paid way more than me to think about this stuff, you know? You have assessed that more better for it. As far as I understand, private citizens could buy anything legal, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, pretty much. Jeez. Corporations that can't buy residential property means landlords can't exist, which would be its own world of issues. Yeah, like, so how do you explain an apartment block, Poison, right? Like, it has to be, like, high density. Corporations should have access to, like, high density residential, right? Like, but then again, you can't do one overarching law that would go across it, because everyone zones property. Every state zones property different. Every county zones property different. Every town zones property differently. It's not just high and low density residential. Oh, man. See? That's what I mean, man. I'm smart enough to know that I am way out of my wheelhouse with this one. I'm smart enough to understand that I'm way out of my wheelhouse. Here, watch this. Oh. Oh. Come on, Kerbal. Oh, it's just running main. Hold on. Current file. Okay, so the Nugget. This is the Nugget. This is a demo vehicle that I specifically built for this code to operate. Mozora just presented my Brazilian internship to the jury and already got hit with Kness for next year's internship. Wow. Got a hit with Kness for next year's internship. Nice. Press space. Jim. Look at this. Look at this. Pinky. We're refined here. We don't press space no more. Right? Here's what we do. He said do. Midge, this office that I built might as well look like a CIC. I just need the blue lighting, but the blue lighting would screw up the chroma. We have liftoff, Nugget 1. Roll program is complete. Oh wow, that's interesting. It's communicating over a TCP socket connection. That's pretty neat. Yeah, Oz, dude, I'm learning how to code. This is my 3rd day learning Python for this. That up there, I don't even remember what TCP stands for. Transfer Control Protocol or something? Oh, there's the grab turn. Transmission Control Protocol. That was close. So, that's really freaking cool, but I don't understand how that works. You know, I understand TCP and IP and all that other stuff, but like it makes a server and then that server somehow communicates with KSP. Like, whoever made this is really, really smart. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you, dude. But yeah, Nugget is flying all by itself. I'm not doing anything. Yeah, Endo, right? There you go, Vega, yeah. TCP is the network communication method which ensures all packets are sent and received. UDP sends the data and doesn't check if it's received, so some data loss could occur. Yep. Because I was saying I don't remember what the... Yeah, I'll check the link, but yeah. What do I do with my hands? I don't do anything, just chill. We still had some problems up here with vehicle reorientation. It works, but it's not doing exactly what I want. Yeah, Poison, dude, this thing's great. Now, this thing should want to reorient automatically. Right now, I have it set to just kind of stay at 45 degrees, right? And it's using... We need to adjust the PID on the RCS because we're just hemorrhaging RCS at this point. Can you make a Falcon 9 that lands itself? Oh, DV, you can do everything in this. Yeah. You can make one. You can make one that lands by itself. Yeah, of course. Basically, you can create a server on any TCP socket, which can be created through a single line of code. And these communicate through the internet or the computer as long as you have the IP address and port number. That's the power of TCP. It's not bound to an internet provider. Cool. So right now, I have it try to do a reorient command. But it doesn't really want to do it. And it doesn't reorient in time for the RCS to... do things that are not correct to do. Looks like Dragon when it's approaching the space station. See, and then I have it, when it gets near apogee, I have it lock into the retrograde. But when Nugget locks into retrograde, it's rolled 75 degrees every time. Because the reorientation isn't exactly working. I would need to get the reorientation to be more like this. But that's something that we can figure out. Okay, we got an SLS update, T-Man. So on October 12th, teams replaced ICPS batteries and powered up Orion for battery charging and to load flight software. Work is on track for SLS to roll out of the VAB on November 4th for our next Artemis 1 launch attempt on November 14th at 12:07 a.m. Night launch, baby. Could you program to do auto landings and use it on your resume with a real space agency? It really depends. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't see why not. It's Python, like, sure. So there is some stuff with the reorientation right there where the vehicle is not doing what I want. I need it to reorient to retrograde vector with a roll degree of 0. But it doesn't like doing that. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, nice, W. Thank you. I'll read up about that later. Hey, human person, what's going on? You can program a client-server connection in, like, 5 lines of Python. If you're interested, you should definitely check it out. Let's focus on getting this thing to do what I want. There are some things that I want to mess with today with Nugget. You lost your job today and got promoted. You want to use RCS on constant question? One hint, see the date on your last link. Okay, you know, there's a lot of tech guys here. There's a lot of tech guys. Well, Nugget is coasting back down here. I got a question. So, I've been watching CS50. CS50 is Harvard's computer science intro course, right? And you know, you learn about TCP, you learn about UDP, you learn about internet protocol, right? Like, you learn about all that stuff, and then you learn, like, basically deep level code, like the machine code, right? Which is like in BASIC and stuff like that, which is, you know, how computers kind of that BASIC, right? And binary and stuff is basic. That's how computers communicate with us, like, or how we communicate with them, right? Yeah, like the deep like core codes and stuff. And I, you know, like, okay, I'm sure, I am 100% positive that there is somebody that knows way more about this than me, and there's a reason why this is the way that it is. But, you know, you look at binary, right? And you look at how, like, assembly works, right? And you look at all that stuff, and I couldn't help but think that it's a very inefficient way of doing things. But, like, a lot of code is just built off of all that. Like, and I understand, you know, like, you can't change physics and stuff, but is that the reason why we haven't come up with a more, like, efficient... I want to say, efficient isn't the right word. A more comprehensible, like, medium between human and computer interface right there? There's drogue cut, main shoot, deploy. It's doing that all automatically. Trust me, the course is better than anything MIT puts out for free. I'd look. Harvard, why aren't you using MIT's course? Where's your Boston loyalty? Harvard's in Boston, you dope. Actually, they're both in Cambridge. At some point, you have to be precious enough to specify the more comprehensible medium is what you're writing today. Yeah, Vega, but if I'm understanding it right, Python is just a nicer way to write another language, which is a nicer way to write another language, which is a nicer way to write another language, which is a nicer way to write, like, BASIC, right? Like, okay, what I'm getting at is, why are we making easier ways to write languages that are based on inefficient ways down here? This is something, like, don't get me wrong, this isn't like a TED Talk rhetorical, like, oh, there's a better way, EJ has a better way to do this after looking at it for 5 minutes. No. I'm actually asking. I'm just genuinely curious. Like Python, what is Python based off of? Python is based off of C, if I'm remembering right. Like, Rust. What is Rust? Assembler, yeah. There is no more efficient way. Assembly is not inefficient. Oh, that's what I mean. That's what I'm asking. It just seemed like it was inefficient. Yeah, okay. Do I just need to... So, it seems like it's inefficient, but the reality of the situation is that I know dick about computer science. Got it. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Yeah, that's what I was just wondering, man. Because, look, I know rocket science. I know rocket science pretty good. But I also know enough to know that I know nothing about rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've been reading about that and learning it for years now. Like, computer science, I'm not too well versed in. So I'm smart enough to be able to tell you where, like, if I'm looking at something and I think it's inefficient, it's probably not. I just don't know enough about what I'm talking about, right? Like, that's something that's a skill. It's a pretty valuable skill that people should learn, you know? If you want to learn to play assembler, then play Shenzhen IO. Yeah. Assembly is faster because it's already what the machine understands. and all the higher languages have to be translated into assembly machine code before running. That's what I'm saying, Tessa. There's no better avenue than assembly or machine code. We can't come up with something better. Like, once again, limited knowledge. Most likely that answer is no. That's why you get all frameworks and such. You could, but that would change the hardware level. Oh yeah, Reindeer, yeah, that's great. You'd have to basically redesign all computer hardware from scratch. Yeah, Vega, I understand the reason why you wouldn't want to, do that. But, okay, EJ has another question. Inquisitive mind. This is the EJ Inquisition. So, if nobody's willing to redesign any hardware, we're stuck within a certain framework with that hardware, right? Like, so, because we're bound by the hardware, shouldn't there be a theoretical maximum there? Or no, we could just, as long as we just come up with ways to make a transistor smaller, right? We're good, right? But like, shouldn't there be, like, there's a theoretical max with it, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think we're anywhere near it. There's a historic reason on the compiler. Under the compiler, there's an assembler that people wrote for the formula transistor, aka Fortran. Then the C compiler has been written on that. So what has been written on that was only the interpreter. We eventually arrived to the point where we needed to rewrite it. The language where they did it is the mentioned Rust for e.g. Other than that, most of the languages are built on historical previous iterations. Okay, that's the question that I'm asking. Rust seems to be doing what I'm asking, right? Nobody expects the EJ Inquisition. Yes, there is. We're pushing against the limits of miniaturization. So yeah, that's my question. At some point, we're going to need to figure out a better medium than like assembly, right? The machine code. We're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to figure out something better. And if I had to guess, like this, once again, this is one of those things about you don't know better. There's way more people that study this way more than I do. I'm a novice at this. I bet you there's a bunch of people trying to figure that out right now, right? Like, that makes sense. But also the framework like Rust make it faster and more available to a larger number of developers. Oscore, okay. Quantum computers are the next step, right? Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. There are different flavors of assembly code for separate hardware. The most common is the x86, your computer, then ARM and RSCV. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and the different chipsets, Lewis, are for different applications, right? This is because it's just engineering. So I know there's like chipset framework that like in avionics. So like the space shuttle's computer is not like an x86 chipset. No, it's not. No. It is not designed for that. It is designed for extremely high bandwidth because, when you have a computer controlling inputs on a plane, you need to have a computer that can move a lot of information around quicker, right? Like, space shuttle is RISC based. Yeah, okay. Fun fact, Atlas runs on MIL STD 1750A. A military standardization, okay. In Minecraft and some other sandbox games, you could build circuitry, which helps a lot in explaining how computers work on the hardware level with logic gates, transistors, and resistors. No, yeah, floating, believe it or not, computer hardware makes sense in my brain. It's the software part where I'm like, huh? And that's what I'm trying to fix. Okay, Tesla had their AI day the other day, right? Tesla did their AI day. And they were talking about the server boxes that they want to make. Their server boxes, the long story short, if I'm understanding this correctly, is they basically figured out a way to take a GPU and just slam it right into a server processor. They basically improved, on a hardware level, they improved the way that graphics can communicate with a processor. They basically put the components right on top of each other, like like you have spaghetti and you have meatballs. Spaghetti is your graphics card, the meatball is your processor. Just mix that all up into a chipset that works, right? Yeah, it's not a GPU. It's designed for simulation. So actually, those Tesla computers would be really good at making really good at playing Kerbal. Go figure. The point of using a compiler to translate is that you can write your high-level code once it will generate instructions for any big computer architectures. No, Android. I understand the reason for a compiler. I'm just what I'm getting at is like why do we have a language built on 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 a language? You know what I mean? Why do we do that? That seems very inefficient to me. You know, why don't we? Okay, this language sucked. Screw that language. Let's go back. Let's go back over here and make a new one. I'm like, once again, I'm not willfully ignorant about this. I'm actually asking questions. You have to program your language in something. Okay, then learn assembly. Human understanding is a priority. Compilers are very efficient. Humans are not very efficient yet. It's easier for me to print hello world rather than writing it in assembly. Okay, so once again, I'm not trying to prove a point here. It's just an inquisitive mind, right? Like, I'm just trying to get my bearings here. So, okay, if assembly sucks, I've seen it. You know, I mentioned assembly a couple times in chat. A bunch of people say it sucks. Okay, why don't we fix that? This is why we mentioned Rust. That directly compiles to the bare metal. Gotcha. Okay, Investigator, Rust is basically the answer to what I'm asking. Okay, cool. I got it. Sweet. I'm just curious. Like, every level of abstraction away can add additional benefits. Easier to express what you want to do in code, make it easier to switch underlying hardware. Yeah, no, I get it. But it's like an adapter on an adapter on an adapter. We got more adapters that translate to different mediums of code back to machine learning than the freaking ISS has adapters for docking ports, you know? Assembler is bare metal code. Yeah, I got it. What you're actually asking is actually something Microsoft was trying to answer with .NET. Whatever language you would want to use would be compiled back down to the same common instruction set. In theory, it solves what you're asking. In practice, well, it's .NET. Yeah, okay. Most efficient way to communicate with the CPU is assembly, but it is so low level that it's complicated for us to write. And Voodoo, yeah, that's what you seem to be echoing everybody's words. And yeah, okay, so why don't we come up with a better way to do that? Now, once again, that was the base of my question. Rust is the answer to that question, and I understand it. Thank you for taking the time, fellas. I'm just trying to learn. Yeah, see, there's a reason why that exists the way that it does. There's a very good reason. Programming efficiency is something that I see a lot of people saying in chat. I'm just picking you guys' brains. I'm just asking questions. I ain't trying to prove a point like with aerospace because I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? With Kerbal and stuff. No, I'm good. Like, teach you everything here. That's no problem. But with computer science, dude, you guys are teaching me, not vice versa. Because the hardware influences those decisions. Okay, so why don't we redesign the hardware? Also, our processes are so quick that unless you have something extremely taxing, you wouldn't even realize the speed difference. Orbital launch mount venting, it looks like SpaceX is doing testing. Cool. I think when people say assembly sucks, it's like when people say math sucks. They're not willing to make a statement on its efficacy. They're just saying don't enjoy using it. Okay. Rust also writes assembly. Okay, so wouldn't we need new hardware? Yeah, okay, so that's my next question. Why has no one tried to invent new hardware? Hi, Flagon. Yep. I think brute force solves a lot of problems. Well, look at the space shuttle, Lando. It's a good example. People do that all the time. They do. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. AMD and Intel have very different designs for the same instruction set. It's the same reason why people use Windows and Mac, okay? Because in the end, you're still getting down to basics. It's transistors running on ones and zeros. Yep. Yeah, okay. There's convergent design no matter what. It's like Oz, it's like for the same reason why every plane has a wing. Except for Dream Chaser, but even then the plane is the wing, you know what I mean? Like there's just some things you just can't change, right? Like that's what it is, right? It really comes down to that, yeah? Yeah, okay, Tesla. Yeah, so it's at this point, fellas, it's not necessarily about making a more efficient intermediary between, you know, like hardware and, basic code. It's about optimizing it for us at this point, which is why we have language based off language based off language based off language based off language, right? Like actual languages, Tesla. That's actually a good way to say it. Because with basic electronics, this was all built on, you can have two states, on or off. Everything comes down to that basic fact. Yep. Why we come with better hardware? That's x86 versus ARM. Look up computer architecture sometimes. There's a general structure that most processors use as it's efficient. Yep. So basically, the thing that I perceive as inefficient is not inefficient, right? So once again, just getting my bearings. Am I asking like, oh, why don't we use electric propulsion to get into space? Well, there's a reason why everybody uses chemical rockets, right? Am I in the ballpark with that analogy? Okay, cool. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, you can't change physics. There's no way you can off-put enough electrical energy to use electrical energy to get into space. That's ridiculous. I think another part missing here is the key concept. If you run something once, make it easy to understand it works correct. If it runs many times, that's a lot of paragraphs. I gotta speed read. Give me 1 second. Compilation is done one, but what compiles it run many times. So who cares how long it takes to compile? Come back to fight me later. Yeah, Mid, I understand the context of what you're saying, though. Yeah. It only happens once, and one of my compiles is supposed to be super efficient. Something's basically telling your hardware what it first stated. You're actually asking for is, in fact, more complicated than simplified. It's the complexity that's simple. Yeah, okay, cool, sweet. Yeah, no, I get it. That makes perfect sense. Once again, I usually, when I ask these stupid questions, I'm usually trying to get people to think about stuff. But I'm actually asking. I'm trying to learn here. Computers are ridiculously fast, like incomprehensibly fast. And yeah, speed of light, right? Like, yeah, that's pretty quick. Kind of that, yeah. The reason why we don't do Python implemented in hardware type chips is it's a prohibitive level of complexity to embed in the hardware, and you can't fix bugs with a patch. You fix it by manufacturing a new chip. Simpler, lower level, more provable instruction set on hardware allows you to do more software on top of it. Okay. What's really inefficient is our language and understanding. Interpreting things for us to understand is what makes it so bad. Yeah, tell me about it. Let's take it from someone that's socially awkward. Or are we not talking about that language? Or at least I was at one. Not really. Talking to people isn't a big deal if you keep doing it. I talk to people every day. Talk to a lot of people every day. It's really not a problem anymore. Don't even think about it and just go and say hi to people. What are they going to do? Tell you to piss off? I mean, sometimes, yeah. The 4090 has 76 billion transistors. The human brain can't comprehend the scale of modern computers. Interesting. Okay. Hey, Hypersonic, more learning today. I missed out on the first 2 days. If you need help with something, let me know. I don't do much Python, but I've been a software designer for the last 15 years. Dude, you guys have been super helpful when it comes to this. This is great. The hardware itself is very, very, very quick. It's usually bad programmers that make things slow. Car analogy, kind of. Okay, high-level code is like press the gas pedal. Assembly is like open fuel air valve, activate spark plug, wait for the piston to come back up, open exhaust, now do it faster. These aren't stupid questions. They're actually right on the nose. You're understanding the fundamental reason why computer science exists. Yeah, dude. Just taking what I know about the basic questions of aerospace and applying it to computer science, you know. It makes sense. Okay, T-Man. I mean, Ziggy, there's a lot of talented people in here. Like, there really is. Like, turns out that if you have a stream about engineering, you attract engineers. Go figure, right? Digging into RCT code would give us the idea of the absurdity of making a game in assembly. Yeah, okay. I had another question. Also, what is your goal? Do you want reasoning, thinking skills? We need to emulate the human brain. That's essentially neurons operating on ones and zeros. If you want computational power, then transistors are the way to go. Quantum computers have their own strengths and weaknesses, too. engineering, man. There's an application for everything. That's one of the things I try to teach people like crazy here on the stream. You know, when people look at Starship, why does it have flappy wings? That looks so stupid. Why did they do that way? That's not the right question to ask. The right question to ask is, what are you trying to do? And based off of that is why I asked you guys the questions that I asked, right? It's interesting. It's very interesting. Cool. Oh, that brought me to my second question. Computer science is a frigging rabbit hole, isn't it? Yeah, like aerospace. It's a big rabbit hole. Yep. Like, we might have a problem here if this clicks in my head. Yeah, it's just as bad as aerospace engineering. Okay. Yep. It's a never-ending deep one. What am I getting into? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Diamond logos, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. It's fascinating. I want to learn all of it. Is that bad? It's a problem that makes money, though, and you don't need a degree to get hired. Yeah, yeah, right. Just wait until you learn about computer architecture. I would love to go on a deep dive with you guys and learn this stuff. That's cool, man. Good luck learning all of it. If you set an impossible goal, knowing it's impossible, whatever you achieve is going to be something cool because you told yourself it was impossible. So whatever you're going to make is something that you otherwise wouldn't have made had you decided the goal was impossible to begin with. Just a thought. Aerospace uses a lot of computer science to make it go. I mean, Shadows, look at SpaceX. SpaceX is an aerospace engineering company that's being run like a software company. Even the rocket hardware is prototyped like software. No, it's freaking cool, man. I'm already 8 years in it as a developer, still learning, probably till the end. I mean, Robert, I've been learning about aerospace engineering for a decade. I still don't know everything. I'm not even, dude, I wouldn't even trust myself to try and make a liquid fuel rocket engine right now. Like, maybe I could do it. I could probably get you something, but it would most likely be like more of a flamethrower than anything. The learning should never end. Oh yeah, in the Shadows. That's why, you know, that's part of the reason why I say, you know, I want to learn everything. Because I know that's never going to happen. But I'm hangry to learn. That's what that statement means. I'm never going to learn everything. That's ridiculous. I've seen the computers in Minecraft. I watched a video the other day of a guy that made a computer in Minecraft that plays Minecraft. Yeah, that's right, Shadows. Yep, stunning Kruger. The more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing. It's something it's a very hard pill to swallow, especially with aerospace engineering. Did you spot it in the V4 pic? There's a banana. Yep, I saw it. I'm not gonna say where it is. It's on a bracket. There's a lot of brackets on that motor mount though, and motor. Ando, networking isn't the other thing that that's kind of cool to me. Networking is the other thing that's legit, dude, because Ando, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I look at stuff like this.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I look at stuff like this, and I look at it in the same type of awe that I look at when I see like a bridge, a big bridge or something. I'm like, damn, that's cool. Look at this. Look at this fun stuff. This is nice. This looks like some space age stuff. That's pretty legit. It wouldn't be as cool without the lights. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Picture gives you anxiety? It doesn't give me anxiety. I love it. I want to go dig in and figure out how it works. It's cool, man. Are they RGB? They better be. That adds gigahertz. Bio, it adds gigahertz. Thank you for the 44 months. It adds gigahertz, okay? It's just like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that if you paint racing stripes on a car, it adds 10 horsepower, okay? You have lights on your computer, it increases the clock speed on your processor, it adds the megs. Cleaning up the cable mess gigahertz. It's a color blue, it means the racks will run cooler. Yeah. That's cool. Is it bad if I want this in my basement? Or in my office? Is that bad? Like, I want EJSA mainframe. The mainframe. The box said 10 horsepower. Those racks are just for show. They're very loud and hot, okay? Yeah, it's a false floor, guys. There's a false floor here. That's why there's vents. See the vents? It's a false floor. Just like it's a false ceiling. Drop ceiling, drop floor. Well, if you do build that, please share your electricity bills. Electricity bills. Off the grid power, baby. No, I don't have off the grid power at the house, but you'd be... I want that. Imagine not being able to generate your own power. This post made by Solar Panel Gang. Oh, I don't know if a lot of you guys heard, but I bought a generator the other day at a yard sale. 6,500 watt generator. It's nice. The lab I work at has a drop lure because it used to be a server room. We frequently find sticky notes and documents dated 1970 something. That's crazy. How much land you got? Is it a Jenny from the block? Yes. No, solar panels wouldn't be enough. I know enough about electrical engineering to know that solar panels wouldn't be able to power a server all the time. You need batteries. And a really nice generator. Each one of those racks is probably 100 amp. You don't have the power. See, Tessa, how you guys are thinking about this is categorically wrong. You know why? I had this thought the other day. So I was bringing the generator in, and I put it in the cold storage in the back, right? Put it in my cold storage. There's the other side of the barn. My office is on one side, and my office was cold storage, but I converted it. I furnished this room, right? The cold storage is over there. It's locked up, you know, like on the other side. That's where my lawnmower and the snowblower and the generator are, right? I didn't feel like hauling that generator all the way back there because the driveway doesn't go over there, right? The driveway goes to the front of the garage. But there's grass. You know, there's a little patch of grass and then trees, right? You know, and I backed the truck up to the front of the garage and I'm like, oh man, I have to haul that thing all the way back over there. It sucks. And then I just kind of had an epiphany. It's my freaking lawn. I can drive on it if I want to. So I just drove the truck back there and unloaded the generator. Like, you know, oh great, I don't have the power. That's what? Because I can't put a generator back here that does have the power? Like this is my property. I can do whatever the frick I want on it as long as you're abiding by the law. It's like, and generators are abiding by the law. That, like, yeah, I can do that. Sure, why not? What's the problem? You know what I mean? I could do donuts on the back lawn if I really want to. I could pull up all the grass and pave the damn thing if I want to. Like, I mean, I get it. At that point, money is the thing, but you can make more money. Like, no, this isn't a ploy for me asking for tips. Please don't tip. It's just, you know, I don't have the power generation. Bro, it's my property. I can make it have the power generation. It's just going to cost money. But there's a difference between saying, oh, you'll never be able to do that, and saying, oh, you just got to make more money and then you'll be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you need a generator the size of your house and a tank or a diesel every day. Okay. See, like that's the thing. See, like you're still doing it. You're still doing the thing. Okay, so what? So what? As opposed to getting a 200, 300, 400, getting commercial power run to my house? Which one of those is going to be more expensive? See what I'm saying? Like, it's my house. It's my property. I can do what I want. I'm a winner. Chip. Winners get to do what they want. What did you need the generator for? Bio, I'm out in the sticks, dude. I'm out in the sticks. All my neighbors said the same thing. They said if the power goes out, it ain't coming back for a couple of days. So I bought a 6,500 watt generator because overkill is underrated. Lunch break time. Ready for programming snacks. What's up, Rocket? Do you have a well? I don't. But I want to put rainwater collectors in, Matt. I was talking to my neighbor, actually, guys. It's totally cool to do. You can do rainwater, and you can filter it. You'd be surprised. I know people in residential areas with... I mean, I'd have to look at the prices, Kev, but the point is that it's not insurmountable, fellas. It's not an insurmountable thing, you know? How big is a 6,500 watt generator? Size of an engine block? About the size of a V8? Exactly, Ando. What is the fuel flow for the generator? It's a gravity-fed gasoline generator. Aren't they like $1,000? This generator, I got it at a yard sale for 400. I read an article a while back that someone built a village of tiny houses in their backyard. That's cool. How much fuel for an hour? Well, Kaj, see, here's the thing. How much fuel for an hour? Okay, you can... The thing. Just get a gas tank and put a big gas tank in the backyard. You could just store gas. It's a better battery than a freaking electrical battery. You just leave it there. It'll be fine. Oh no, here's monies for 1 sack of grass seed. Thank you. Like Leonard, thank you for the raid. Miles, thank you for the resub. Vessel control throttle equals 0.45. Is Python the best way to control KSP using KRPC? I see that it supports other programming languages. I don't know, Ordon. I would say go with what you know, but I don't know any of them, so I just chose Python because that's what everybody said to do. So, yeah. Just add a fuel stabilizer. That's what I mean, guys. You got to understand, we're talking about generating power in the event of a blackout. So... yeah, I guess you're just interested in the cost. Yeah. Like, and here's the other thing, dudes. If I want to make a generator, I can. What's stopping me from, like, going to the junkyard, rebuilding a car engine, putting it on a mount, and then attaching the output shaft to an alternator and a voltage regulator? It would output 12 volt DC, but we could invert the power. Like, there's nothing stopping me from making that. You know what I mean? I can do that. Sure, why not? Greetings, Starfighter. What's up, Zero? Yeah, there you go, Kev. Yeah. That's what a generator is, no? Yeah, and Arleon, yeah, that's what I mean. People are like, oh, that generator's not enough to power your house. I could build one. Generator dynamos are better than alternators, but alternators are cheaper. Controversial topic. Understand if you don't want to comment. Cost cap Red Bull breaching. Do you think Max should be stripped for last year? As a Ferrari fan, yes, Alleviate. As a Formula 1 fan, I don't know. Who gets the championship then? The money's already been distributed for that championship. You know? How many alternators can fit into one V8? Yes. Python is fine, but I'm a C++ stan because my name is Carol Shelby. Nice. Yeah, that's right, Bio. Yeah, there you go, Kev, exactly. This is what I mean, guys. Nothing is outside the realm of possibility here. You know, like if I want to make a closed loop if I want to make my own power grid, I can do that. There's nothing saying you cannot do that in this country or this state. You can absolutely do that. Why wouldn't you be able to do that? You see what I mean? You can do that. And honestly, with the way energy prices are going, it'd be probably better to stockpile the stuff before the price goes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it, Bio, yeah. Yeah, Oscorky, that's correct. Not in Massachusetts, you can do that. You can generate your own power. Massachusetts is big on solar. They're big because of that, you can generate your own power. In fact, some places in Massachusetts, they'll pay you to put solar panels on, so you generate power for them. They'll actually, you know. Yes, generate but not store. I'll have to look into it. You could sell it to the grid too, yeah, I suppose. Are they going to buy it though? Just because you're putting electrical power into their grid doesn't mean they're going to buy it. But, you know, I suppose you could use it to run the meter down. Home gravity battery when? Now we're talking. Home RTG when? I'm pretty sure you can do it off the grid. I'll talk to my I'll talk to a buddy of mine, Oz. A buddy of mine is a general contractor. He'd probably know that. Anyway, how's the code going? Back to the coding. Good conversations to start the stream. Let's go. So, I showed you guys what the Nugget can do. What I want to do... So, Brimo was telling me... Brimo was telling me that this code could be optimized more, and it'd be better to learn loops here. That's what she said. She said learn how to do loops because a lot of this can be condensed down. So, chat, I need to learn how to do that, and I don't think that this is going to teach me how to do that. Oh, Red, I'm sure in 1985 it's available in every corner drugstore. But in 1955 it's a little hard to come by. That's right, Panther. You are using a loop. Google is your friend. You can put everything into one big main loop if you wanted to go embedded system style with it. Learn Python loops. All right, let's learn. Put the learning caps on. Okay, chat. Here's what we're gonna do. We're closing the book on off-grid power generation. We will open this book another day, and we're gonna open the book on learning Python. This actually isn't the book on learning Python. It's the shuttle operations manual, or the Haynes manual, not the ops manual. Yeah, floating. I did this just to get this down, but yeah, if you look, every little bit of things is all labeled out. I always kind of label each paragraph, so to speak. Learn how they work, then figure out how they work. I apologize, but what is this Python thing? Tipsy, Python is a programming language. All right, here, check this out. See this thing? KSP KRPC tutorial. This is a program here called PyCharm. PyCharm works with a program with a mod for KSP. PyCharm is a compiler, or it's called an IDE. It's basically where you write the code and execute it. It works with this thing called KRPC. See this rocket that I made, dude? No more zeros, and I want to see all the engines have the same tag. All right, and this, because we're opening the coding book, I figured we'll do a quick kind of... Mine's here. Oh yeah, floating. I do that all the time. I do that all the time with my hardware implementation. So, check this out. KRPC is a mod that allows you to write code to make the vehicle fly itself. I wrote an ascent trajectory for this vehicle here. The KRPC-1, we call it the Chicken Nugget, because it looks like a chicken nugget. It's just a quick vehicle that I made. It's loosely based off of MLV in its construction. It's a very similar method to how I made the Freedom rockets, how I made MLV, you know, fairing nose cone, fairing bow tail engine section, orange tanks, RCS. But this thing's got chutes. I wrote a script to basically get this up to a 95 kilometer apogee and then just splash down in the ocean. But it does it by itself. Watch this. So if I go here and we hit play, see? Suborbital flight. That's the name of the script, suborbital. Watch this. I started using mods like a couple weeks ago. All the hardware is the same. Like all the rocket part. I don't have part mods. These are all just visual mods in KRPC. Literally the same thing as I was doing before, but it just looks nicer. Hey, Dama. Yeah, see, look. It did a roll program by itself. How's the flying suppository doing? Krill, this thing looks like a bunch of different things. It looks like a bullet. It looks like a chicken McNugget. But you chose suppository. Okay. Yeah, that's waterfall, Ryan. It's flying great, if you really want to know. Flying great. Hey, Milo, what's going on? Look, flies by itself. And if we want to open up the IDE, see, I have it, every step that it completes, I have it print something out in the console here. Yeah, Waterfall does the expanding plumes red. Look at that thing. It looks great, man. We have main engine cut off. It's designed to stabilize itself out here. Is automated SSRP on the menu today? Question. No, Primo told me that I need to learn how to do more basic functions in Python, like loops and whatnot. So we're going to figure that one out today. I need to figure out what the heck it is, and then I need to figure out how it's applicable to my code. Is that a salt shaker? Yes! Learning loops will take you 5 minutes max. No. EJ learning time, it's probably going to take me about an hour. On stream. I learn slow, man. That's how I do it. Yeah, that's right, Phil. Pretty much. Check to make sure you don't need to set a reference for that roll. It doesn't have a reference to compare it to. It won't know how much or when to roll. I believe that the roll, Oz, is picked up off of that right there. Every rocket has a telemetry output in Kerbal that it doesn't really show unless you have the UI up. The UI, the Kerbal developers put this in the game for debugging, but I use it to show people all this stuff. I think it's picking up off that number. But yeah, yeah, we got to figure out if its reference is fine. Like, I'm not sure what those numbers are in reference to. I'm pretty sure they're in reference to the ground, if I had to guess. But I know that the autopilot command is picking up on, the autopilot command is picking up on azimuth. here. Picking up on heading when you're up in space really doesn't make a lot of it freaking did it. Why did it turn better that time? Do you have a link to your code? I don't. I'll show you it in a moment. I'm going to hit Q here and get the vehicle to reorient correctly. And then, actually, that one flew 101. Huh. No, there wasn't an error, Rocket Guy. The autopilot orientation is getting confused when it's up in space. It's not doing exactly what I want, or it's not doing what I told it to do, which me saying it's not doing what I told it to do is not a computer. It's not the computer's problem. That's my problem. It's what I implemented in the code is not what I think it is. Are there UI functions in this Python API? I do believe that there is. Yes. I'll keep that loops window open. Python. That's the other thing I wanted to learn. I want to learn how to... I wanted to output the console on a window in KSP. And we also need telemetry for the vehicle. Telemetry and rates. I want my vehicles to output telemetry. We're going to use the nugget to learn that stuff. I'm sure you answered this 100 times. Why KRPC and not KOS? Johnny, hey man, what's going on? I wanted to learn Python, so I figured kill two birds with one stone. It's a fun new way to play KSP. I learn code. You guys get good entertainment. That's all. Just keep in mind that the drawing functions broke with the updating KSP Unity for the main KRPC repository. Okay. Does it look at what navball mode is selected, or does it have its own reference? I think the autopilot has its own reference, Dave, but I'm not 100% on that one. Anyway, hi Johnny. Yeah, you'll probably enjoy what I'm doing in here, but it's real basic stuff. It's basic program stuff. And when I mean basic, I don't mean the language. I mean like pumpkin spice basic. hard-coded single ascent autopilot.
Discovery, go and throttle.
Bio gifted a sub to Johnny. Thanks, man. It's just got a crafted to space, not so
Discovery,
basic.
go and throttle up.
Tin Town. 4-month resub. Hi, how are you? Can you give the titles of a few decent Python books for later? Duckman, I am only using the KRPC Python documentation right now. That's all I've been using to code. And I'm not learning, I haven't learned much code off stream either. The thing that I did watch was Harvard's CS50, but I'm not finished with it. The CS50 program at Harvard is free. You can watch it online. It's basic intro to computer science.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Okay. Okay, so now this thing should... Tipsy, check this out. It's going to deploy the drogues by itself. Makeup. We have a drogue inflation here. Then once we settle down here, the drogue should pop. Drogues pop, main chute deploy. And the nugget will splash down. It seems really handy for when you have a ton of things going on at once. Tipsy, imagine if I could, do this with Condor 9 and just get it to land itself. It'd be really nice. Not gonna lie, pumpkin spice is bomb. Yeah, it's chicken nugget. Last for joke. If you're interested in networking and TCP sockets, you can eventually set up an HTML page on your website to upload live telemetry. Yeah, we've been talking about that. There it goes. Oh, nice, Alleviate. There you go. Yeah, exactly, O-Force. I set it. I put a number in there. I set it to 0. Leaving it blank or nan should default. It said in the documentation it defaults to 0. Like, and I don't see a joke. Oh, there it is. This seems easy. Why did it take? Yeah. See, we could just come and recover the thing. Do it with the shuttle. Alright, so here, let's revert to the VAB and I'll show you guys the code here. So, Remo said loops. I have to learn that. If you program your condors, EJ, you'll hate your own experience and can make your own video. You'll have your own oh, I thought you said hate. You'll have your own experience and can make your own video on how not to land an orbital rocket booster. Yeah. Figure out how to remove the sleeps, Odin. Should be a reasonable starting place. Some of these sleeps are in here to prevent race conditions, though. At least that's what Bree was telling me. Or else you don't get it to work correctly. Your stream's been offline since you lost a hard drive, Johnny. It'll be back, though. Right on, dude. That's called event programming and keeping state from one event to the next. Yeah. Using sleeps is okay where needed, but they aren't all needed. We want the 0 in brackets gone, nothing else. This right here. Maybe we... Falcon 9 tonight? It's tomorrow. Okay, fellas, I'm kind of like, should I learn loops or should I just keep figuring out how to do things in Python? Because
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Snacky snack. 15 months. First step, make a loop to loop through the list of engines and shut them down and lock gimbal, all in a loop instead of individually coded. Looping is important. Okay. Loop will make your life easier once understood. All right, so, okay, you guys, time to sit here and laugh at EJ not understanding concepts. All right, let's go. So, learnpython.org. All right, let's see what we got. Loops. There are 2 types of loops in Python, for and while. Okay, the for loop. For loops iterate over a given sequence. Here's an example. Run. Okay, I'm not really 100% sure what this just did. Did it just display the for loops? Primes equals 2, 3, 5, and 7. For prime in primes, print prime numbers. It printed 2 and then printed 3. So it just basically outputted the array. So this is an array right here of information, right? And then it said, so for prime numbers that are in the primes array, print them. Okay, no need to overthink it. Got it. Prime is a placeholder. Yeah, well, you need to say prime in here because it's the print, right? So, okay, dumb question. Why would this be here? Why don't you just say print prime? Why doesn't it just say, why wouldn't you do print primes? What's the use case for it? Try it and find out. All right. Is this gonna break this? Because you want to do something, print each element of the list. It's just an example of performing an action for each element in the collection. Okay. Okay, I see it. This prints out each individual number. That just prints the array. Don't forget to read error output. It often tells you what to change. Unexpected indent. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go over here. Can we... And then run it. Two, 3, 5, and 7, and 1. E. In other language, the syntax for each, that's what it tells it. It runs the code for each of the values inside of the array. Got it? All right. For loops can iterate over a sequence of numbers using range and xrange functions. The difference between range and xrange is that the range function returns a new list with numbers of that specified range, whereas xrange returns an iterator, which is more efficient. I need to read that again. That meant nothing to me. For loops can iterate over a sequence of numbers using the range and xrange functions. The difference between range and xrange is that the range function returns a new list with numbers of that specified range, whereas xrange returns an iterator, which is more efficient. That Falcon 9 is 11:25 p.m. tonight. Range 100 creates a list of 100 numbers. If you just want to count to 100, for I, range 100 is really an efficient way to do it. Okay. No, we'll figure that out later in the day. Let's get back to this. For loops can iterate over a sequence of numbers using the range and xrange functions. The difference between range and xrange is that the range function returns a new list with numbers of the specified range, whereas xrange returns an iterator, which is more efficient. Python 3 uses the range function, which acts like xrange. Note that the range function is zero-based. Alright. While loops. While loops repeat as long as a certain Boolean condition is met. For example, prints out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Count equals 0. Well, count is less than 5. Print count. Count plus or equal to 1. This is the same as count equals count plus 1. Range is first inclusive, last input exclusive. So range 0 to 5 outputs 0 through 4. So if I say while is the standard ubiquitous loop. Got it. Less reading, more doing, if that makes sense. I'll keep that open. If you get one input, it'll assume 0 for the first input. So if you say range 5, it's going to say, oh, for X in range 5, that's 0 to 5, just automatically. Got it. All right, that makes sense. Like, fellas, okay. If I'm, like, really learning stuff, you guys are going to say it 1,000 times in chat to the point where it's probably going to get frustrating. My thick freaking skull, it takes a second. It takes a second with me. I learn very slowly. Like, slow and iterative. Like, it's to the point where it's kind of frustrating. Trust me. I dealt with this problem in school back in the Stone Age a lot. But unfortunately, at the time, I was like, well, these other people learn it faster. I should be able to learn it as fast as them. That's not how that works, but when you're 15, you don't really understand that, you know. Whoops. While loops repeat as long as a certain Boolean condition is met, for example, while a count is less than 5, print count. Count plus or equal to 1. This is the same as counting. Yeah, of course, SKS. I know. Persistence is what wins, dude. But the other thing is, fellas, that when I learn stuff, like I understand what a while loop does, but it's not solid in my head. I wouldn't be able to communicate what it does to you guys. I like to learn things to that level, to the point where I can explain it to somebody. That's my earmark for how well I can grasp a concept. I did this with rocket science. If I can't explain what stage combustion is to you guys, how can I prove that I know what it is? You know what I mean? You have to be able to explain it. That's my benchmark. Well, loop, do this until I tell you otherwise. So the 5 right there is otherwise. So if we did 10, it'll do all the way to 10. If we did 154, man, that was fast. Computer do be fast, though. That's how I learn everything, Shadows. That's why it takes me so long. Go figure. Try 1,000,000? I don't think it'll go... Boop. That was pretty fast for 100,000. All right. 1,000,000? At some point, your browser may crap itself. Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that. It do be hard, yes, yes. Yeah. What's high score mean? Did I break it? I know that there are, like, numerical places. Oh, it ran it. It did it. There it goes. Oh, man, look at that. It did it. It took a second. Here, let's run it again. This poor guy's sir. Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to learn. Am I increasing someone's electrical bill with this? I should probably stop. Hans, are we the baddies? This guy's probably like, some idiot's trying to run a million freaking... God, you're screwing up my while loop tutorial, you dick. Okay, it did it. Add 2 more zeros. Echo, this poor guy. No, we shouldn't do that. All right. Yeah, if this was local, so if we did this in PyCharm, it would be a lot quicker. So, actually, boop. Word. Do it one time without print and see the magic. Okay. Boop. Whoa. That's cool, man. That's pretty freaking neat. It's just like, nah. Alright. Humans are obsolete. The print command is the bottleneck there, isn't it? That's ridiculous. And Python is a slow language. For example, if you had count engines, you could do a loop that shuts off engine count. Yep. Yep. You know what? I want to keep that. I'll keep that file open. Actually, I have a debug file. It's over here. But that's KOS, so C++ is even faster. Yeah. That was for debugging KOS stuff. What's KRPC? KRPC is an intermediary that allows you to run code on your crafts in Kerbal mills. So I have this rocket, this debug rocket that I have here we call it the chicken nugget. I think I named it, it's KRPC1. It's the tutorial craft, and I used code with KRPC to make it fly on an ascent trajectory. Pretty sweet. Control plus / I had to look at the keyboard, and that's pathetic. To black out. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Computers and stuff. What does this button do? Oh, no. No. Man. Apple II. Thanks, dude. Jeez. Okay. Well, that's pretty neat. All right, so we got it to count. That's nice. All right, let's go back over to loops. Break and continue statements. Break is used to exit a for loop or a while loop, whereas continue is used to skip the current block and return to the for or while statement. You can tell it's Python because of the way it is. Pretty neat. Thought KOS was the only mod for that. No, KRPC does it too. Yeah, I got you, Dimitri. 9L, is this my first time programming? Yes and no. I took programming classes in high school, like 15 years ago. Not even 50, it's more than that. It's 2005. 17 years ago. And it was Java, so it's basically irrelevant. Last time I programmed was 2008. Yeah. C+, there you go. Java is definitely still relevant. It was more, it's a joke. I know. Joke. Okay, that apparently wasn't very funny. Didn't land. No. Graph Shark. So, long story short, now I know this. Yeah. Yes. Like, I kind of get the basics. It's not concrete in my head. And if it's not concrete in my head, then that means I'll forget it. That you'll forget it in a week. Hit a condition and stop. Continue, hit a condition, do a thing, and keep going. So, okay, let's see. Perlani, I could use a continue. Okay, EJ's got a question. Question for application here. I could put the whole thing into a loop. This whole script could be inside of one big loop. And every step, when we do the roll program, grab, turn, pitch over. Grab, turn, pitch over 1, pitch over 2, pitch up, blah, blah, blah. Those could be breaks, right? And that would basically null the need for these sleep commands, right? No. Right on. Yep. No, not really. That wouldn't work. I wouldn't look at it that way. No, when you hit a break, you exit the loop. Okay. So each step would have to be its own loop, and at the end of the step, there'd be a break, right? Technically, this should all be a state machine that is running in a loop. That does not mean anything to me, Hypersonic. Sorry, man. You need to make it event-driven to do that. Hard to answer absolutely honestly. Okay. Explain why the sleeps are there. Some sleeps are there to prevent race conditions. Some of the other sleeps are here to basically, like, okay, command engine start. That starts the engines, right? Turns the engines on. And then it keeps the engines going at full blast on the pad for 2 seconds. And then the clamps go. Read about state machines. Is this pertinent to learning loops, Hypersonic? That's what I'm asking, like, because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole and end up not learning anything. Could you capture mission time? Odin, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can use UT. No more E1, just E. One place where you might want to start losing loops is to wait until a specific condition is true. Yeah, I have to get this concrete, guys. This is the part where we're fighting a battle to wire some neurons up here, okay? You should write your own loops first, okay? All right. Those are expressions down here for this stuff. Try to replace the KRPC events with loops. Okay. So our engine shut down in gimbal lock right here. So this is looking for parts with a tag and then shutting them off. This is, we could do this with 3 lines of code instead of 6, right? Okay, now I know. No. Oh, that's a... Okay, I got it. Yeah, it'll wait for this. Yeah, okay, I understand it. Okay. Fellas, I don't give a frick about state machines right now. Stop that. Stop that. The whole point with... No state machines. Down, chat. Down. No. State... No. That is not pertinent to what we're learning. No. Stop it. If it's not pertinent to loops, man, we're gonna wire something wrong, and I'm just gonna get confused. I'm just gonna get confused, man. How dare you, Nick? Are you able to read out current thrust to weight with KOS? This is KRPC. If you code it Voodoo, yeah, you can read out TWR. You'd have to do... What would you have to do that? You'd have to run the equation. It would have to... You'd need a loop to do that, wouldn't you? Because it would have to constantly calculate the loop and then print it out. It would have to constantly calculate TWR because mass and thrust are dynamic. Nice. What are E1, E2, and E3? Those are the three engines at the bottom of the vehicle. E1, E2, E3 is the gimbal. So we need a loop here. Save a new file just so we don't break the old one. To get those tags, you could do a for loop, generate E # with ESD. Yeah, Dimitri. Okay, all right. There's more people in here than when we started doing this. Don't give me the answer. All right, fellas, don't give me the answer. I don't want the answer. I'm not looking for a solution. I'm looking to learn how to solve the problem. Understand? I don't need a solution right now. I need this explained. I got to figure it out, dude. It's just caveman brain, man. Okay, let's go back over here. All right, so let me finish reading this. Okay, Scott. Yeah, I got you. Can we use else clause for loops? We can use else for loops. When the loop condition of for or while statement fails, then the code part in else is executed. If a break statement is executed inside the for loop, then the else part is skipped. Note that the else part is executed even if there is a continue statement. Exercise. Loop through and print out all even numbers from the numbers list in the same order they are received. Don't print any numbers that come after 237 in the sequence. Oh. All right, let's do this. Don't give me the answer. I want to figure this out. Just sit back and watch and laugh when I get it wrong. Okay, so what does it want us to do? Loop through and print out all even numbers from the numbers list in the same order they are received. Don't print any numbers that come after 237 in the sequence. Loop through and print out all even numbers from the numbers in the list in the same order they are received. Don't print any numbers that come after 237. So we need to look through here, right? So we have an array right here. That's the array of numbers. And we don't want it to print any numbers that come after 237 in the sequence, okay? Hard to do. It's hard to do with a lot of people watching, man. But we did it yesterday. We'll do it today. All the needed code is in the other examples. Yep. No pressure. I don't understand the concepts well enough to be able to do this. Yeah, so we're going to need this. Okay. Don't print any numbers that come after 237. So we need 4x in range 5, like that. Not 5, it would be 237. So that's 0 to 237, right? As a human, can you describe how you do that? Oh, you guys want me to rubber duck. Okay, so I think they already gave you the for loop. Okay, so if you want me to rubber duck, what am I trying to do, right? Let's do what I always say. What am I trying to do? We're trying to look at if I was going to just do this manually, I'd check every single number, right? And if it's even, we'd want to print it out. If it's not even, just ignore it. But it only wants me to go to 237 in the sequence. Now, I could just sit there and manually pick out all the numbers and then put them in an array and tell it to print that, but that would be hard coded. That's pretty sure that's not what it wants you to do, right? You have to iterate on the list, not just the numbers from 0 to 237. Okay, so yeah, these numbers are out of order. So if we tell it to go to 237, the first time it encounters 237, it's just going to be like, nah, right? So we needed to look at all the numbers. So that would be up here. But it already has that. It already has that for command right there, right? So we want to go down here. Yeah. So, okay, we're looking at all the numbers. How do we tell it to look for an even number? Not T-Man, I have the link open, but not now. I missed something. See, this is what I mean about not learning it well enough. I can read it and I can say what it says, but yeah, I missed it. Oh, here we go. How do I know that a number is even? I don't know what this does, Johnny. No. X percentage 2? I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's... See, this is what I mean, dudes. I'm not going to glaze over it and be like, yeah, of course I know what that means. If we're going to learn this, you got to learn it. I got to know what everything does, right? Percentage is the modulo. Oh, yeah, the gabagool. Modulus. It's a modulo operator. It gives the remainder after division. Oh, boy. Okay, so see, like, this is pertinent to what we're doing. So, probably be useful to learn that. In computing, the modulo operation returns the remainder or assigned remainder of division. After one number is divided by another, it's called the modulus of the operation. Given two positive numbers, a and n, a modulo n, often abbreviated as a mod n, is the remainder of Euclidean division. Yeah, Diamond Logos, I got it. Oh, just a regular mod function. Oh, yeah, just a regular mod function. Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, that's just a regular mod function. Like, yeah, I clearly don't know what that is, so saying just a regular mod function doesn't really help me, yes? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that doesn't really help me in the slightest. So... Wiki is shocking. Look at that link. No. No. So for example, the expression 5 mod 2 would evaluate to 1 because 5 divided by 2 has a quotient of 2 and a remainder of 1. Well, 9 mod 3 would evaluate to 0 because the division of 9 by 3 has a quotient of 3 and a remainder of 0. There's nothing to subtract from 9 after multiplying 3 times 3. Okay, so this is that command there. Oh, not drummer is a multi. We're going here. So over here, this is X mod 2. I got it. Anything that has a remainder is an odd number. That's how it finds it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Dude, if I'm going to learn something, we got to go back to scratch. That's the only way it works. That's the only way it works for me. This is what I mean when I said it's going to get annoying. If you don't like it, I totally get it. This is frustrating for anybody that knows this, and I understand that. But yeah, it takes me a second, man. I have to learn. I have to understand it. You know, like I don't get me wrong. I understand division. All right, just the percent side is not a it is a division, Log. God damn it. See, this is what I mean, dude. I'm an idiot. Like, it takes me a second to learn things. The percent side's the closest one that looks like a division sign. It's almost like they put some thought into this or something. Oh, that's pretty funny, man. And in for the operator, / gives the quotient. Pop quiz, 40 divided by 3. What's the mod? So you would have to do 40 divided by 3, which... hint, 39. One. 1. 39 divided by 3 is 13. So if you do 40 divided by 3, you have a remainder of 1. Yeah, I'm just... Frick me, right? Like, I have to go back doing basic math. It's freaking embarrassing, but hey, that's... There's nothing, There's nothing glamorous about learning, dude. It's gonna get ugly, dude. As I learn more of this stuff, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. All right, so we would want this here, right? So we need. I'm gonna write it out myself. We would need if x mod 2 equals 0, right? That's what it said. Where are we? Yeah. No, that's my code. Yeah, it does. You don't need the semicolon. You need the regular colon. All right. So now this will be able to discern what's odd and what's even, right? That's when it's even, though. What's this for? Kaitoust, I am learning how to make guidance systems for rockets in KSP. Well, run it. So change it to an exclamation point equals instead. What's the exclamation point do, passing? Well, it doesn't like me. Okay. If xmod 2 is not equal to 0, then we need to print it. Then print, right? Print. Yeah? It means not equal to. Yep, yep. Your number object is not correct. You should use an if statement and then a break statement to accomplish your goal. Traceback file script line 13 and module lasers 20. Name X is not defined. Oh. Okay, so we haven't defined X. So how did they define X up here? Or X in range 236. Use your variable number, not X. Look at your loop setup. Oh. Yeah, because they use number, right? They use number in the part that was provided, so rippity derp. Shut up. Get out of here. Well, we got it to display all the even numbers. That's pretty neat. Well, so that's pretty neat. Now we just got to get it to not put the numbers above 237. So that it should be up here somewhere. It's basically this right here. Not above, after. So that it would probably go right here, right? Because we don't want it to start printing out numbers that it doesn't want. So we would want a range again, right? No ranges at all here. Forget the range for a bit. Got it. Wouldn't want something like that. The range part is given as that input of number of the arrays already, okay? What command will leave the loop? Else? Do you understand what it asked with after 237? So it doesn't want anything after, any even numbers after 237 in the sequence, not higher than 237, right? Is that... Okay. Alright, I was thinking all the numbers that are higher than 237, 237, 238, 239, don't display it. That's not what it's asking. Okay, cool. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I got it. Yeah, okay, Johnny, I got it. Okay, I got you, Dimitri. Thank you. Hey, Pestinin. Yeah, floating. I understand. Don't forget to add the comment. Skull, I got you. Oh, yeah, okay. How are you gonna make it find 237 when it's odd? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it would have to be before the okay. It has to be before the operation, right? Because it has to look at all the numbers. If number equals 237, this is ridiculous. Yes, but do you understand? Yes, I do. I get it. And this is not just chat saying that. I pretty much was ignoring what a lot of people were saying. So, okay, so for numbers in numbers, this first command, right? That first command is going to look at everything in this box, right here, in the number box, right? It's going to look at everything. If it sees 237, which is right there on line 5, stop. Stop looking at it. So now it's only looking at those numbers right there. If any of those numbers, mod 2, if the remainder doesn't equal 0, continue and then print them. So basically what this says is, look at what I have highlighted on the screen. Once it sees 237, stop. Look at these numbers, right? Look at those numbers. Take all those numbers, divide them by 2. If there's any remainders, then don't print them. Done. It's more for each of those numbers than from the list, so they... Yeah, okay. Got it. Sweet. Yeah. Well, we got it. I suppose it's important to understand it's not looking at the entire set, just one at a time. Well, yeah, of course. How would the thing look at the entire set of numbers? If it doesn't matter if it's a computer or a person. If you're going through a list, it's gonna have to look through the damn list, right? Like you have to look through one thing at a time. What?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Stuff you don't have to worry about. Bingo. Well, that was useful. Thank you, Alleviate, for that link. I'm just going to put that in with the other box over here. We'll just put that over there. Hey, you over there. Okay, so how would we do that with Nugget? So this is the Chicken Nugget Ascent V1. Computer science is fascinating because there's a concept of non-deterministic Turing machine, which is basically a quantum device that runs all possible options and picks the right one. That made my brain hurt, Johnny. Give all the engines the main tag like main. Give all the engines the same tag like main. Yeah, okay. I got a question. There is a way to get a list of all the engines on this without using the with tag. Okay.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Pombo, 3-month resub. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Tabak. Okay. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Okay. Like I said, this is gonna get ugly, dude. It's gonna get ugly, and I'm not. Thankfully, I'm kind of cool with making myself look stupid on the internet. I do it a lot, so it's not a big deal. Dude, okay, so my question is down the road. Down the road, I want to make Chicken Nugget land. I wanted to make it propulsively land, right? And I don't want it to propulsively land on 3 engines, right? We don't want it to do that. You wouldn't be able to dial the TWR in correctly, right? Or you deep throttle 3 engines, which Kerbal can do, but I don't want to do it that way, right? So, how is that pertinent to what we're doing now? I understand that you want to name all the engines the same thing, right? And then you want to use a for loop to shut them all down and then shut the gimbal off instead of, right? Like, I get it. But excuse me. But if I was going to name them all the same thing, if at a later date when I add to this code, if I want to make it select individual engines and shut them off, wouldn't I need another tag? Oh, she's passing. You can rewrite tags in question. Can one part have multiple tags? Show me code. Try to keep it simple for now. Okay. So that's a problem for another day. Got it. Cool. Excellent. All right, so let's go over here. Now, how in the frick would we do this? Problem for later, EJ. Got it. Pretty sure a tag is just a string, but you could code them by separating them with a space or another character, but that's a bit advanced for now. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's go in here on Nugget. Go in here. Change tag. Let's do main E. E. Main 1. And then we'll do just something that it could pick up. I know floating. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing that I mean, that's staying on subject, you know, like, you know, this state machines, whatever the heck that is. You know, somebody asked me if I knew what it was, and I said no, and then a bunch of people started defining it in chat. That doesn't help me. That does the task at hand, right? Like, I don't care what that is right now, because that doesn't learn anything, right? So, check tag on engine 2. Yeah, I got you. Don't give me the code, dudes. Come on. Doesn't help me. Don't give me the answer. You want to make a donation to the Coast Guard Youth Auxiliary. You want me to buy a subscription to the Saturday Evening Post? I'm gonna read your thoughts. Great Scott! Alright, so this is the modified version. So let's go down here. I want you to see what is happening when you're using with tag and how it relates back to the loops and lists. How to use. Alright, so you want this over here. Let's work with my debug code first. Get rid of this. Alright, so let me make sure that craft file is saved. So this is the debug file. This is just, if we want to mess with something and put it on a pad, you know, we can mess with it here. So, try this, list of engines. So we need to... Yeah, Jay, I'm getting there. Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't want to run that. Okay, so get rid of that. Are you okay with pointing to specific KRPC features? What do you mean, Johnny? Where am I? I'm on the UI here. That's not what we want. Oh, my freaking mind just went blank. Damn it. Yeah, if it's something that I could look up in the documentation, Johnny, that's fine. You can do both easily. For example, main engine 1, main engine 2, main engine 3, shut down all main engine tech, then start main engine 2 for landing. Yeah, I know, S. I listened to you, and I responded to you the first time, and then literally went into KSP and changed all the names on the engines while you were typing C last. I know. I know. I changed the engines because of what you said 5 minutes ago, but you were... I don't understand here. I don't know what that you said. Do the same thing again, like, dude. Don't get frustrated. All right. So vessel parts engines is a list of all the engines. Okay. Water. Also, earlier when you were messing with 1 million loops, some people were face palming, but you're right to experiment around. Ugh, I blanked, dudes. I blanked. I'm totally. I had it for a second. Sorry, casting to my TV, big chat delay. All good, man. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's think about this. Engine. No, David's good. We'll power through. Just on a quick side note, Johnny, that's really cool. You can do a lot of cool things with reference frame. Can you? Yeah. Write it in English first. Yeah, Tabik, for some reason my brain's potatoing. Yeah, Pestin, right? That's cool, man. It's cool. Write what you want to do in the comments first. Pseudocode is a very nice way to refer back to what you're blanking. See, I'm not even 100% sure because, dude, I blanked just a second ago, and now I'm like, the loop stuff is not sticking anymore. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so we have a list, right? That's a list, or is it an array? You guys tell me. What's that thing called? The matrix of numbers right there. That's correct, Hellfish. Okay, so we need an array. What's the array that we're looking for? It's just, this is the same thing. The array that we're looking for is the vessel parts, right? So it's vessel parts. So we need to go over here. Are we on the same page that what with tag returns to you is very same as the numbers in the example? That's what I'm trying to get at here. So vessels. Like that, it goes into the call. Hold on. So, do we need to do something like this? I got you, sweet. Yep. That's for expressions only, okay. For Miko and vessel parts with tag. Okay, vessel parts with tag is main. Oh, okay. This needs to go up here. Main needs to go up. So that means, yeah, okay, so that means we don't need this part. Now Miko's one of those engines, and that's what we work with. No more vessel. Okay, so now we need something to get all the parts. So this tells it made a variable called Miko, right? And now it's gonna look for all the parts with main. If the vessel parts equals no, that wouldn't be right. If that's the name, right? Then we needed to shut it off. Like use then? I don't think we can use then. We would need get it to query that data. You don't need a mistake. Don't be afraid to comment. Yeah, I got it, Odin. I got it. I gotta figure out what to comment before I comment. You know what I mean? I could just say, lol, lol. Like, does that make sense? Remember how you selected a single number and numbers for each iteration through the loop? You have Miko as an object that you can do things with inside the loop. Think about what list is created. Vessel parts with tag main and what Miko would refer to inside your loop. We don't need any ifs in there. Does this need a semicolon after it? Yes, it does. Okay. Or just a regular colon. Then now just do with Miko what you want to do. No vessel. Oh, okay, okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. We're honing in. I know Marrakesh. Phoenix, add what you see up here. Right there. I'll just leave it open for a moment. Add that to all your codes and use the old version of KRPC and everything works. So, okay, we already queried up here. That 4 up there for Miko in vessel.parts active with main. So, because we already queried the engines, we should just be able to do that. So, and then Miko dot engine dot gimbal underscore locked equals true. Break. You don't need a brake there. What's the brake doing for you? Why would you want a brake? So you don't need to tell it. You don't need to tell that. You don't need to tell it to brake. You don't need to tell it to stop. It'll just stop after it sets all the engines to false. Like that. This is perfect. Okay. Yeah, we replaced 6 lines with 3. And when it's done with all the iterations, it'll move on. So, let me take this, and I'm going to put this over here. All right? We'll put it over there, and we'll go over here like this. Take this, put this thing out. You don't need brake. Okay. Do you agree with me that part would be a better name for Miko? Does it matter, Malls? Does it matter? I could call it Bananathon and it wouldn't make a difference. So wouldn't in this particular use case you define the variable as something that makes sense? Right? I can always reassign that object Miko to something else later in the code, right? Or can we unassign it after the thing's done? Like, do you have to do that, or does it just say, all right, whatever? I would have used main engine. So, okay, that doesn't answer my question. Since it's a variable that you're making up, it should be pertinent to function. If it's pertinent to function, it really comes down to what you're doing. So it really is like kind of a beauty in the eyes of the beholder type of thing. It okay, very just a name. It's a preference. Yeah, so if it's down to preference, then it doesn't matter, Cientic. But what chat is saying is that they want me to do something that makes more sense. I get it, but it doesn't matter. So because it doesn't matter, I am going to call it Bananathon. So here's what we'll do. Engines are running, the gimbal is working. That's all right. Well, there you go. We could always use with tags main 1 to land. That's for loop visualization. Okay. I would use a comment for that, Loopy, to be honest. I could just comment, oh, Bananathon is engines. The point that I'm trying to demonstrate is not my insistence on calling it Miko or Bananathon or whatever, or engine parts or main engines or whatever. It really doesn't matter. It's a preferential thing. You know what I mean? You guys are probably right. But I'm trying to understand concepts here. It's preference, so you don't have to call it that. You don't have to call it main engine. I can call it banana and it works fine. Floating, I don't see your last. It's buried somewhere. And Aqualex did, yeah, paragraphs. Alright, I'll get to it in a moment. The more visual, what's the parts with tag? Enter a list of the parts. So engines with that tag. With a loop, you can iterate through the list, like picking one part at a time and putting it into your work variable box named Miko for you to work with. With each iteration, the next part on that list gets put in the box. Okay. Well, Aqualex, calling it Bananathon isn't going to confuse me at this point because it refers back to this conversation. I won't forget that now. You know what? We're going to call it Jeff. For part, Jeff. My name, Jeff. Okay. Sweet. Well, Loopy, that's why I was trying to. That's why I asked the question a little bit earlier about, like, could we get a hit with a partial tag, or do we have to assign, you know, X, Y, and Z to engine, or 1, 2, and 3 to the engines? In this case, yeah, you know, it's fine. If you want, you could have another list with the names of the main engine. You would need to use what we call regular expressions. Okay. But it's a more advanced topic. Got it. Well, before we go and mess with something else, how about we fly it? Let's fly it. Okay. Reg expressions, Gora, is seems like something that I'm not ready to learn, judging by the reactions in chat. Judging by the reactions in chat, that seems like something that we probably shouldn't. I'm just gonna. I just didn't see that. You don't touch it. I was like, ah, no. They're amazing, but they're also the worst thing ever. In good time, we'll learn it. Okay. Okay, ready? Suborbital flight. Here we go. Oh, good, Felix. We have liftoff. Nugget 1. We've cleared the pad. Roll program. Regex are write-only code. You don't really read them ever. That's the... It's write-only code? Oh boy. Nugget 1. It's a chicken nugget, bang. I don't know. It reminds me of a chicken nugget for some reason. I think hair burner would be a fitting name for the engines. Regex shouldn't exist! It's God's mistake. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Alright. Regex isn't that bad. Oh, I found that guy. Dang it, Jam. So how long until you have a script writing a script for you? Yeah. Yeah, waterfall is money, dude. Oh, that's so legit. Stand by for Miko. My favorite part is the heat distortion here. You can still see some heat distortion from if your camera goes into the exhaust plume. We need a fine control for that. We need a PID for that damn thing. But hey, you know what? It's doing it. What is the mod that you're using for visuals? Here. KSP mods. This is Redjet's to parse an email address. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I got you, Bombo. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, yeah, we gotta go back down. Yeah, yeah. Okay, chat, stupid EJ question. This is probably not the best way to do this, but could you can rewrite the tags, right? You could, in the code, you could rewrite the tags to the engines. Guess what? A PID is at its core a loop. Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah. Cool. So I could temporarily rewrite the tags if I wanted to start one engine, right? You know, and assign them like an array value. So like it's main X, right? So it could be like main 1, main 2, main 3, start main 3, and then rewrite them all back to main. I can define the engine as anything I want. I can define the engine as banana. Alright. Save this, send it. Yeah, or yeah, we could just call action groups if we really wanted to. But I think calling action groups is like a specific use case. If I don't have to call an action group and we could figure out a way to code it in the program, I wouldn't do it. Fly, little nugget, fly! Yeah, Core, exactly. You'd have to rewrite it to the default tags. That doesn't sound like a good way to do that. There's probably a better way to do it, which is why I said it doesn't sound like a good way to do it. Yeah, Bombo, it's use case. All about what you're trying to do. Which is why rubber ducking is so important. But I have chat to rubber duck with, so it's fine. It's great. This is great, actually. It's pretty sweet. I really like it. It's pretty awesome. EJ, hear me out. To always enable only the middle engine, you could check the number of engines, then divide by 2. Access that engine and turn it off. Oh, you could mod the engines? You could do engines mod 2? Oh, no. I'll stick with tags, Pesterman. Jeez. Well, it's just an idea. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't like that idea. Engines did shut off. Cool. Engine purge. I'm sure you could, Loopy. I don't see why not. Tags are easier and more reliable. Agreed. If we went off hierarchical assignment, guys, that would really suck for us in the future, because if we're trying to rewrite a booster, if we're trying to fly a booster that's been reused, it'll rewrite the hierarchy because it attached to a pad and then deattached from a pad. It doesn't reassign the numbers. There's the reorientation command. It's trying. Yeah, Pesterman, I got you. You can tag any part. Yeah, Aqualex, that's right. Yeah, no, we're just gonna be reassigning hierarchy stuff all day. Do you have a list? Yes. Boop. I'm not sure, Loopy. Can you guys look at Loopy's question? Yeah, I'll go with unique variables. Which is why when you guys were like, oh, name all the engines the same thing, I was like, what? No, I don't want to do that. Why does it use autopilot and then turn on SAS to retro? Or if I'm remembering right, that's just me cutting and splicing the tutorial code, combining with figuring out new ways to do things. I can never get the autopilot to reorient correctly. I'm sure I know there's a command to get the autopilot to follow retrograde, but I'm not sure. I just haven't done it yet, you know? Yeah, because I told it to, yeah. I'm not sure why our use case was that, but it was. Yeah, Loopy, you can call for parts in the hierarchy. Yeah, of course. That's what we're doing here. That's what some of this stuff is. This is querying the hierarchy right there. So this is telling it to look at the vessel, look at the active vessel, basically. We're selecting the autopilot part, which is not it's not a physical part. It is a part on the vehicle, but it's coded into the vehicle, right? So it has no collider, right? And then in the autopilot, target, pitch, and heading. Target, pitch, and heading is the child of autopilot. Autopilot is the child of the vessel. Vessel is your root part in this call right here. Well, it's not a call, in this command. Did I see your last? I only have one or the other on right now, GraphShark. When one is on, the other one isn't. You could disable SAS fire, pitch up. Yeah, Aqualex, that was another way to do it. Yeah, we tried that already. There's probably a delay. I tried naming them main 1, main 2, and main 3, and it didn't like it. It's looking it won't partially match. You're naming your child autopilot? No, I'm naming my child moon unit. Yeah, Loopy, that's right. Hierarchy is powerful, man. Just like when we're building stuff in KSP, the hierarchy is king. Alright, so now this should automatically deploy the drogues. And she's coming in hot. Yes, GraphShark, that's what we're doing. Drogue deploy. Now when the drogues will inflate, and when the drogues are slowed us down enough, sure, that's it. Yep, and when the drogue slows down enough, it deploys the main chutes. Come down nice and easy. I don't think there's a contains S. Superbot eventually, sure. Eventually I would want Nugget to just hover around DCX style, but I'm just using this ascent script. We'll optimize, like I'm making this code, and before I try to get the vehicle to do something else, I want to optimize this code And I want to figure out, I want to use this to figure out how to do a bunch of things. So we should be seeing a lot more of the nugget flying sooner rather than later. Good work optimizing so far. That's a nice loop. I have help, Aqua. I didn't do this by myself. I had help. Lots of help. Lots of good help, too. Yeah, and the other thing, fellas, is that I want to point out, if I'm getting frustrated, it ain't with you guys. It's with me. It's not you, it's me, chat. No, I'm trying to learn a little bit faster than what I usually do, but that doesn't, you know, like, I'm not frustrated with you guys. Don't worry about it. You guys are just trying to help, and I know that. It's all good. Look at my boat. All aboard the Steiner Nugget ship. Yeah, well, like, that's the thing. I gotta keep saying that. I can't get frustrated when, you know, I say, don't tell me the answer, and then wait 30 minutes, because the people that were here 30 minutes ago are not the people that are here now. You know what I mean? Like, I have to constantly say stuff, which is why I repeat stuff and explanations all the time when I'm giving them. Yeah, Panta, caveman brain, dude. The older you get, the harder it is to learn, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Alright, so... what else can we screw around with in here? So what's another thing that we could loop instead? I mean, we could loop the drogue deploy, and we could also loop the cut parachute trigger event and the main parachute deploy. We could loop all that. It's not going to be particularly any more or less lines of code in this, but if we had multiple parachutes, those loops would be really good. Getting rid of the events. Getting rid of the events. When you write one section of code that does something really well, maybe save it as its own little standalone program so you can copy paste it into other programs. I don't like copying and pasting code, Tessa, even my own. I don't know. I'm weird. Maybe that's just a step that I need to understand by myself later down the road. Because if there's like 150 line code, I don't want to type that all out again. But for right now, I gotta type it out. But I agree with you. You're probably right, but... hey, 1-3. It's going okay. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So it's a good idea to do later. Tessa, I don't want to do it right now because I don't want to get lazy. You don't want to get lazy when you're learning. You know what I mean? I gotta write it out. I gotta rubber duck everything here. And you know what? I'll just store it in a very, very advanced storage system like I store all my craft files. Oh, shh. That's not a good idea. Joke. Is joke. Please laugh. Okay, so Phil, you told me to get rid of the event conditions. My mind went after that. So it percolates through your mind. Keep events, that's good stuff. Alright. Okay, let's work on the parachute deploy then. We'll work on trying to mess with the parachute deploy. Just wait until chat teaches you GitLab. Haha. That's a joke. I don't understand it because I don't know what the hell GitLab is. That's like me be saying, GravShark, you'll love this inside joke that you don't know anything about. The hell am I supposed to do with that information, man? What am I supposed to do with this? That doesn't... What you said... Why use more words when few do trick? What you said literally makes no sense to me. It means nothing. You could have been speaking Japanese. Nanda kore? 18ですか? 18だね。ほほほほほ。Merging those old tracks each change to the code you make. Oh, neat. Thank you. Now I know what it is. Now it makes more sense. So desu ne. Arigato, GravShark-sama. If you don't feel dumb, you're not learning. I feel really stupid right now, Space Ghost, so it's okay. Fun fact, VJ, in Python, it takes 2 lines to create a script that deletes itself. Yeah. Okay. Loops. I mean, the loop. I only charge $2.50 an hour if you want me to do it. No, that's okay. That's okay, man. Loops. You know nothing, but you could learn. Yeah, all right. So let's start with deploying the drogue chute. So this is the drogue deploy right here. We shut off SAS and RCS because we made it through entry, right? Exercise your loops. So we have drogies 1 and 2. And in this, what we'd want to do is change tags. So we just need drogies, right? Drogies, 2 bloogies. And then we would need to do... Alright, so let's go over here. 4 bloogies. Okay, 4 bloogies in vessel parts. It's the same thing. It's the same picture. Are you learning to code? I am. I got it, Mutter, yeah. So for each bloogies in this list of drogue chutes, I would like them to deploy. Sir, why did you name them bloogies? Confidential information computer. Do your thing. Okay, so... So, when forgive thee. So I can basically take this same thing down here for the drogue cut, right? But we don't want to call it Bloogies because we don't want it to get confused. So we'll call this for Wumbo. Yep. We don't want .parachute deploy. We don't want drogies 1 and 2. We needed to trigger. So this is modules 0 dot trigger underscore event. I remember cut parakeet. Right? Oh god, assuming it's module 0. There's only 2 things named drogies on this thing. Oh, not parakeet, parachute. Oh. That's bait. Alright. I've been told it can be difficult. Clayton, what difficult thing is easy to learn? Right? What difficult thing is easy to learn? Anything that's worth doing is difficult. Usually. I mean... Ideally, you do another 4 in there for each of the modules, and then test it with has trigger or so first. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, passing. Tabby, can I read? But yeah, ideally you do another 4 in there for each of the modules in. Has trigger. Okay. Okay, let me just open the stuff that I just deleted. Yeah, it is modules. Okay. So there we go. That means we don't need that. And then we need to set the main chute. There. Sweet. Oh, we might have a problem here because we renamed our engines. I'm going to say main chute instead. I don't want it to go shooting off the engines right when we... I don't know why I'm naming this code that I'm about to delete, but, yeah. Bye-bye. The engines are main E. Okay. This is where a nice naming convention comes in. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to fly it again. See what happens. Yeah, Johnny, okay. Do you think they fixed the leak on Artemis? I do, penalty box. They fixed it. They fixed it prior, dude. They already fixed it and they already tested it. Yeah, she's good to go, man. Okay. Last. Did you ever figure out the roll thing? No, Oz, I haven't figured it out yet. No. Butter, what? I don't see a last anywhere from you. Hang on, let me try something here. That's also wrong. You're cutting the mains, not deploying. Could you load in your shuttle and make a program like this work? Yeah, of course, Hunter. Yeah. Yeah, mutter. Yeah. Okay. Ah. This with LV4 would be a great project with the the MLV. Yeah, yeah. Huh. 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 Yeah, we can't edit it in real time, bro, Andy. That'd be kind of cool, but we can't do that. Oz Corky is trying to reorient here. Yeah, Johnny, I got you. You hit Control X instead of Control C. Oh no. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we should probably tweak the PID. There. Limitless, that code is all about real-time editing. It even edits itself. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think that might be out of my wheelhouse right now, though. I can watch. Eventually, though. We have to tweak the RCS PID controller. Tessa, actually, it would be better to... It would be better to use the autopilot. Yeah, passing. I'm not 100%. I should have added a kappa. I'm like... Or we could tell the SAS to go and define control. The drogies! So... This is not going... This is gonna break here. Right? Or it should deploy the chute. Oh god. Okay. Alright. Slow down. Save my nugget. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I don't though, Aqua. That's the thing. Yeah, no. This is the same conversation I had with Grav. Yeah. I don't have them both enabled at the same time. Yay. Alright, yep, there it goes. It got very confused. We have since changed it, though. I'm confident that that's going to work. Check your staging, but in your code, though. Why are you cutting the drogues? Because real spacecraft do that. The drogues just usually serve as a pilot chute for the main chutes to open. After doing drogue things and slowing them down. According to Greg Scott, Falcon Heavy just got moved to the 31st at 6:38 a.m. Cool. That's how the front falls, Orf. Yeah, we have it set to M for Mini, when we should have it set to W for Wombo. Can you code it to cut after the mains deploy? That's what this sucker does right there, dude. Yep. Yeah, guys, the reason why we're using the module trigger event with cut parachutes is because there is no cut parachute command. We figured that one out yesterday. Oh, because it didn't do that. Of course it did. It cut the drogues right when I told it to. It just got really confused after that. Yeah, Duna, it's a good time. All right, we'll test it again. I don't know, Alex. Yeah, that sounds horrible. Sounds awful. All right, ready? Let's make sure that those parachutes work. Is there a way to check for chutes to be fully open versus just deployed? You could use you could pick up on the accelerometer if it figures out that you're decelerating really quick and deceleration goes linear after that, pick up on a crazy change in deceleration, yeah, you'll figure out when the chute's deploy. Nugget, chicken nugget, flying into the air. I'd suggest cutting on surface speed. Yeah, what did I use?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I used Mach. It has to go. Coming out of the transonic is when transonic regime is when it deploys the drogues. So I kind of did surface speed. I used Mach number instead. This here basically says that it needs to be going below 0.9 Mach and below 10,000 meters. And then when that happens, shut the SAS and RCS off and deploy the drogue chutes. Then, after that, it picks up on static pressure for main chute deploy. Parachutes in real life use a barometer to deploy like, that's the common way to do it. Use a barometer to deploy it. So once it picks up on pressure, deploy the chute. Hey, Porter. And once it picks up on the right pressure, we basically 90,000 pascals. So that's 900 or 90 kPa, which is like basically 0.9 bar. So almost like basically when it's near the surface, it'll cut the drogues and deploy the main chute. At least it should. Foz, hey, 14-month resub. Thanks, man. Trying to do that reorient again. At this point, we don't have SAS on. That's the autopilot there. There, switch the SAS on. That's me doing the roll. It never rolls right. Ever. Alright, let's see if our parachutes work correctly. Someone would make that joke. Go. Can I help you with a quick math problem? Sure, if I can't, chat could. Okay, we're transonic. There's the drogues. Yeah, it's autopilot, dude. I don't need to do anything. I'm not flying. Okay. Should cut the drogues now. Main chute deploy. Oh! Ho, 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 ho. CH4 subcoolers are filling up with LN2 at Boca. Cool. That goes the programming. Very good. Hacker man. Very nice. Tango Delta. How the Beavers? I haven't played since Tuesday.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
If your 3D printer is making a huge scary part, that will take a total of 11 hours and 40 minutes to do at normal speed. I'm running the printer at 150% speed. How long will it take to complete the part? It'll take 2/3 of that time. 8 hours. Is it 2/3 or is it 3/4? The thing needs an outboard on it now. That's my boat. So you had a 2-speed, it's 2/3 the time. Johnny, that's a good way to put that, dude. It's a good way to put it. We know loops now. We can loop. Functions next. Functions. There's loops everywhere in this spree. Yeah. The engine shutdown. Selecting all the engines. Selecting all of them to shut off and then lock the gimbal. That's in a loopity loop. Thomas Serpukit would be very proud of us. So would Gunther Steiner. He'd be very, very proud. I say orbital tutorial, not functions. I write a loop that makes your craft perform a loop. Jeff is a name that makes sense. Nodders. Object Jeff is your main engines because I wanted to call it that. Just like down here with the parachute loops, we have the drogues are Wumbo and the mains are Mini. You had it set to M for Mini. And then the drogues up here for the drogue deploy, we called them Bloogies. I can't wait to see you program a full launch and landing program for the shuttle. A landing program? How would we get it to go back to the runway and land? I love you too, Burbo. You'd need the latitude. Oh, you'd have to use latitude and longitude for the runway. The Russians did it. Okay, that's fair. Orbital tutorial is a good next step. Back for a moment. What's the current progress? I put a lot of my the engine shutdown in loops, and parachute deploys in loops. I want to see. Is this code any shorter than the other one? 162 to 166. Let me organize this. Hold on. I think I put more spaces in. That's why. Can we make telemetry with KRPC? Yeah, of course. Could you make your own GPS global positioning satellite system using satellites? Maybe? You were looking into Dream Chaser and was wondering if the angle they put the wings at affect pitch or roll. They do to an extent, Ryan, but Dream Chaser has a body flap underneath it that changes that more than anything. I'm just trying to make this a little bit easier to look at. Alright, we could do the orbital tutorial next. That's fine. Alright. So, do I have to make a new vehicle for that orbital tutorial? Did you write any new stuff since last night? It's mostly optimizing this code, Jazos. I put in loops for a bunch of the sequence deploys that I had. I kind of want to sit here and modify some stuff, because this code still doesn't do exactly what I want it. But it is 4 o'clock, and I also am hungry. So how about we take a break, and then when I get back, we'll figure the rest of this out. Yeah? It doesn't reorient the vehicle how I want, Odin. we'll work on the reorientation, and then maybe the latter half of the stream will. I'm playing K because I want to play KSP all night. We'll keep an eye on what Starship is doing, and if Starship does something, we'll switch to it. But yeah, I wanna keep going with this. And don't get me wrong, we could take a couple of breaks here and there while we're coding to discuss space news if anybody has any questions about what's going on. Starship is SpaceX is doing, looks like they're stepping up for cryo testing on the full stack. It is still stacked at Boca Chica, but pad is clear, tank farm is spooling up. All right, well. Oh, she's having the baby right now? Oh, well, it looks like I better get to the hospital then. All right. Hang on, let's see. Ain't even my car. It's just cryo tests, bro, Handy, from what I can understand. Give me 1 second. I think I got something.